WagerTalk and Sports Memo customers love $9 Mondays, where each package is just $9. For a limited time from June 1st until June 7th, we're offering a 30-day all-access pass from your favorite handicapper for $210. That's only $7 per day. This special includes all daily plays from your favorite handicapper every day for 30 days, including 5% plays normally priced at $39 alone. Use coupon code June30, good for multiple uses at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Once you sign up, you'll get every play sent to you as soon as they post it.
Happy Friday, guys. Welcome into WagerTalk TV. You're watching Puck Time. I'm Andrew. I have Carmine with me and Dave Cokin. Look forward to breaking down today's Eastern Conference Final, Game 2, featuring the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Rangers in Madison Square Garden. Of course, the New York Rangers lead that series 1-0. Yesterday, we saw, a little bit of a different game than we saw in Game 1 from the Western Conference Final. Colorado take a 2-0 series lead in low-scoring fashion as they shut out the Edmonton Oilers. Look forward to breaking that series down, recapping last night, talking about tonight's game, and much, much more. Of course, we also have some great promo codes for you guys to jump into. Looking forward to a great Friday show. I'll bring in my co-host, Carmine Bianco. I believe you have a 5% play up. There's some hockey action, soccer going into the weekend. It's going to be a great, great weekend. Carm, what's going on, man?
Yeah, it's a busy weekend ahead. It all starts today. I'm looking forward to just did the WagerTalk Today show and looking forward to this one. And of course, having our regular Friday guest, Dave Cokin, on. That was a pretty good game last night, man. As I mentioned earlier, there wasn't much of a drop-off. I think everyone expected what we've seen in some of the earlier series where you get the backup goalie in net, that there's going to be some goals. There's going to be some problems with that goalie. Francouz played extremely well, and Colorado did a great job of protecting him in front of the net as well too. And here we are. They're up 2-0 in this series. Andrew, they're heading to Game 3, which is I think everyone knows it's Edmonton's chance to get back in this series, because if they lose Game 3, the series is effectively over. Only 4 teams have come back from being down 3 games in a series to win that series. The last one being in 2014 when the Kings came back to beat the San Jose Sharks in 7 games. So it doesn't happen very often. It's only happened 4 times in the history of the NHL. So it doesn't look good for the Oilers if they lose Game 3. So they're probably going to see their best effort in that game. But we got a big one tonight, Game 2, Eastern Conference, that we're going to look at. Dave, welcome to the show again. Thoughts on last night's game?
Well, it wasn't good for me. I took a chance with Edmonton at the price. I don't mind losing that. But was disappointed with the total. Finally, a low-scoring game. Edmonton, the Oilers could not light the lamp at all. Francouz was great for the Avalanche. I expect a return to the wide-open style in Game 3. When we talk about that, I'll break that down more.
Awesome stuff, Dave. And yeah, for me, it wasn't the most exciting game either. You know, I had props, and you know how it is with props. It's a great time when it's an 8-6 game, and props aren't that great when one team gets shut out. So that didn't go too well for me with the prop market. But I also gave out plus 2.5 games for Edmonton in the series spread on several shows I did. One of the ones was one you were on yesterday with WagerTalk Today, and I used a lot of the reasons that you used as well as to why I liked Edmonton. And now I kind of wish I waited until after yesterday's game to get an even better price and better number. But hey, you can't predict the future. Look, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens as the series shifts to Alberta, what Edmonton can do at home, what they can do with the last change, and see how much that really benefits them. But I couldn't agree more that I think the series will go back to the wide open style. And I think it's impressive because Colorado proved that they can win in low scoring and high scoring. And I always say that's what makes a great team. So maybe Edmonton has to win one of these shootout type games because they clearly couldn't win the defensive game. But guys, there's a game going on tonight, the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 2. There's so many stats we're going to hear. We're going to get into. Everyone's going to talk about Vasilevsky. Everyone's going to talk about Tampa Bay off a loss. So, 18 straight victories in the playoffs for Vasilevsky off a loss. He didn't lose back-to-back games all season long in the regular season. But here's the thing. I look at this, and I was a huge proponent, the fact that it was just too much rest for Tampa Bay. And some might have said, too much rest? How could a team be too rested? I thought 3 or 4 days is enough, but 8 days? That's a lot. New York is riding the high. They had Game 7, 2 back-to-back, do-or-die games. What's another big game to play in? I think this one might be the, several big games in a row. Tampa Bay snaps out of it, and they get it together. Minus 130 here for the road team, plus 110 for the home team, Madison Square Garden here for the New York Rangers. I've got some props that I like in this game, some different things to discuss, but I expect a lower scoring game, a little bit different of opinion. I like the over in last game. I expect more of a lower scoring game in this one. And it's hard to argue that with two great goaltenders like Shesterkin and Vasilevsky. But, we'll see what can happen here in Game 2. But as John Cooper put it, and Carm, I mentioned it on our last episode of Puck Time, John Cooper said Elliott and Vasilevsky could have both been in the net, and they would have lost that game. He was not happy with the defense of his club. I think we'll see more of a defensive game tonight. So with all these stats being thrown out there, everything as far as a bounce back aside, New York played well. Their offense was good. You cashed a pick on Kreider to score a goal. What are your thoughts here on Game 2, Carm?
He has his only shot of the game. But yeah, and talking about props, yesterday, I did have the Avalanche in regulation time. I thought they would get the job done, but 3 goal scoring props and none of them came in. Those plus money ones will come in normally in these high scoring series, as you said. But last night it was completely different with that 4-0 scoreline. Andrew, you're right in the sense of you look at this game and everyone is going to be talking about the whole how Tampa rebounds off a loss, 17-0. The last 3 playoff seasons, 2 of them being cup seasons for them, off a loss. How well they played defensively in the game following a loss. 1.47 goals per game is the average that they've allowed, while scoring 3.94 goals per game in those wins. So they rebound very quickly. And you talk about it's now 17 in a row. Do you want to just continue to ride that trend, or do you want to get in front of it? We saw what the Rangers did to a trend in the last round with Carolina, where basically every single Carolina home game, the home team in every Carolina series, the first 2 series, were 13-0. And everyone expected Carolina to win Game 7 at home against the Rangers and for that trend to continue, and the Rangers killed that trend. And they very well could do it right now. This team seems to have momentum, Andrew. They're just playing extremely well. They're at home, and they've got a very good goalie. If you're going to beat a team and end the trend, you do it because you have a very good goalie. And Tampa Bay did what I thought they needed to do in Game 1, which was they got guys in front of the net. They tried to make things uncomfortable for Shesterkin. And what happened? We saw with Corey Perry. We saw Maroon was just running around on the ice in that game looking for anyone to hit. They cleared the front of that zone. Shesterkin played extremely well. When you've got a hot goalie, as he is, and he's playing well, and the team in front of you has momentum, that is how you snap a streak like this, 17-0 streak, which sounds fantastic. But I can't get to the window on Tampa Bay tonight, but I can't get to the window on the Rangers as well. I'm probably going to look at the total and some prop bets in this one. It wouldn't surprise me if the Rangers win 2 in a row. But I will say this, Andrew, and before I go to Dave, if you like Tampa Bay tonight, the series price right now on Tampa Bay is minus 105. If you're thinking of taking that series price, the better option is to take Tampa Bay to win Game 2 and win the series. That is plus 170 right now at several books, that prop. Tampa to win Game 2 and win the series plus 170, because if Tampa does win tonight, the series price on Tampa will readjust to about minus 160, minus 170, if not higher. So you can get plus money if you like Tampa Bay to win tonight and win the series, plus 170 on that one. Dave, give us your thoughts on tonight's game.
I don't have much. I don't want to go against the Tampa streak. I mean, it is what it is. What is it, 18-0? And I don't want to go against the Rangers streak. They haven't lost a home game yet in the playoffs, and they have to be feeling great about themselves at this point. They got a ton of momentum. If I'm going to play anything tonight, and it's not a play for me, it's just an opinion, I'd look at the under. I think the Lightning will tighten things up defensively. They don't want to get in an up and down race with the Rangers. That's where the Rangers. That's the strength of the Rangers. They're a pretty fast team, and they enjoyed the wide open style the other night. So I think Tampa's going to try and tighten things up. Real serious back checking, maybe not taking many chances offensively. And with two goaltenders this capable, I mean, this can easily be a 3-2 game. It's tough playing unders, especially when the number's low. But I mean, if I'm right about the stylistic matchup tonight, then the chances are this is going to be a game where goals are at a premium, and you could very easily have a 0-0 first period. So the options I would go with are under 5.5 full game, under first period, which might even be the better bet. I'm going to stay away from the side. I don't know.
It's tough to read, and it's, again, not just one streak you're going against, but two streaks, like you mentioned, Dave. Look, I know I'm putting a lot of emphasis on it, and people are probably, getting tired of me mentioning this, but we saw a team in Tampa that had 8 days off. What I always mention, whether it's after a Christmas break, after just a team break, whatever it might be, these players don't lose their ability to play hockey and score goals. What they lose is their awareness and effort defensively. Sometimes it takes you 5-10 minutes to get into the game that way. Sometimes it takes you a game to get into it. I think it would have been better off for Tampa to win that series against Florida in 6 or 5. Not 4, not sweeping in the conference semifinals. I want to remind people at home, Tampa Bay lost game 1 against the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-0. People are forgetting that. How many times have I seen people saying, wow, I really wish I put a future in on the Rangers to win the cup. They look so strong. After one game, this is a best 4 out of 7 series. And I'm not saying anything bad about the Rangers. I will tip my hat. I have been having a great NHL season, a great playoffs. My kryptonite has been the Rangers. So all the Rangers people can laugh at me, and I'll be very transparent about that. I've lost quite a few wagers through, because of the Rangers in different ways. But I agree with Dave as far as, low scoring game tonight. But we'll see if that's the way the game can turn into, because I definitely believe they'll want to change things up that way. Carm, you talk about Maroon hitting everybody, going everywhere. That's kind of one of those things where you kind of feel like you're out of the game already. We saw it last night with Evander Kane and some of the guys, Cassian. It's just a game within a game, trying to build momentum moving towards the next game. It's very interesting, but I think it's a good prop game tonight, Carm. Whether or not it's over or under or goals or assists or points you like. And I have one that I wanted to use for my best bet, and I'm just going to say some of them that I look at right now. We saw an over in game 1, Carm, but we saw both goaltenders cash in on their save prop, which is very interesting, a 5-2 result. But the save props are kind of a new prop that I've looked at this year, where you're not really diving into points or some guy to score a goal for you out of 4 lines. You're banking on this goalie to get peppered, and that's the cool thing, is that you might think, if this team wins a game, this guy's going to have to stand on his head. Vasilevsky tonight is 27.5. I believe it's 30.5, 31 for Shesterkin. Correct me if I'm wrong, Carm. I don't have it in front of me. But what are your thoughts on some of these props, Carm, for going into tonight's game 2?
I think, Andrew, we're going to see some. I think we're going to see some shots on goal. It's whether these guys are stopping them or not, and that's going to determine whether you're going to win that over or the under. What did they get on them? I think it was like 36 or 37 shots on goal last game. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm going to follow you on these shot props along with maybe 1 or 2 goal scorers that I think can come in tonight. You don't want to go too heavy on goal scorers in a game if you're if you're leaning under. as far as the game goes. I wanted to talk about one point, which is because everyone, the narrative is the whole 17-0 or 18-0 with Tampa Bay is this Rangers team, Andrew. It's I get it that Tampa Bay is a two-time defending champion, but you look at the Rangers and there's players on their team. It almost mirrors what you see with Tampa Bay and how they play. You look at like Adam Fox, like the guy is having an unbelievable playoffs. 5 goals, 15 assists. The guy's got 20 points. He seems like almost like a Hedman. When you look at Tampa and you see on how their defense get into the play in the offensive zone and Hedman's there, he's right where that faceoff circle is. He's getting shots on goal. Fox is doing the same thing. You expect he's like a forward on defense, and the teams that are succeeding in the playoffs have these type of defensemen. Cale Makar for Colorado, Hedman for Tampa, and you're just seeing this. And they've got players on this team who are playing extremely well and extremely well defensively. It is why I just can't get to the window on Tampa. I wanted to add that point before I threw it to Dave, but I might look at the Fox props because I've completely ignored the guy, and he's got 20 points thus far. And if you're playing those over half a point props, you're likely hitting with him. I'm not even sure what the juice is right now, but I just wanted to mention that along with your props.
Dave, I know you aren't a prop guy, but you know hockey very well in these teams. So I just wanted to ask you, we're seeing such a strong performance from Zibanejad, Kreider. I've even said a lot of these secondary guys are stepping up, but when it comes down to it, Game 6 against Carolina, Game 7 against Carolina, Game 1 against Tampa Bay. As far as the prop market goes and just how the game has gone, these big-time players had made big-time plays. The cliche expression. Do you believe that's how New York is going to have to play if they continue to win? Can they win games without Kreider and Zibanejad having big games? Because I feel like that's the difference. I still think it's so incredible that in a Game 7, Nick Paul scored his first 2 ever career playoff games. I think that's what makes Tampa Bay so incredible. Can New York win games without those top guys scoring?
No, probably not. But those guys are rolling right now. So Tampa's got to find a way to stop them. And they certainly didn't do it in Game 1. And I'll echo what Carmine said. Listen, if the Conn Smythe is going to go to, in all likelihood, somebody on the championship team, if the Rangers win it all, you can just put Adam Fox's name on it right now. I suppose something could change between now and the end of the finals if the Rangers get there, but he's been great. So, I would agree that the top guys for the Rangers have to play well again, but they're still going to get performances out of the guys who don't hit the score sheet as well. Listen, Ryan Reeves has had an impact on a lot of these Ranger games this year. You won't see him in the score sheet, but Reeves is doing what he did with the Golden Knights, which is being a tremendous physical presence. And he's playing good two-way hockey, even though he doesn't score points. They missed him here in Vegas this year. Quite honestly, I think if Reeves had been in the team, they probably would have been in the playoffs again. The Rangers got a big win when they signed Reeves, and he's just one of those under-the-radar guys who contributes tremendously.
He has the innate ability, Dave, to get under your skin, and he got under the skin of Tampa Bay in Game 1. And if he can do the same thing in Game 2, you just sometimes you unnerve a team, you derail them.
It's not. It's. I don't know that it's unnerving as much as they know what's going to happen when Reeves is on the ice. Somebody's getting hit, okay? And Reeves doesn't take the dump. When Reeves was with Pittsburgh, before he got out here, he took so many stupid penalties. He really improved that aspect of his game with the Golden Knights, and he's maintained it with the Rangers. He's out there being a tremendous physical presence, but he's not drawing dumb penalties anymore, and that makes him a very valuable guy.
And Dave, I'm a Montreal Canadian fan, as you know, but as a Nova Scotian, I'm a huge Sidney Crosby fan, and I'll tell you what, here in Nova Scotia, we loved that Ryan Reeves was on the Pittsburgh Penguins. someone to look after Crosby, and he's come and gone, and it was a lot of it was due to those penalties.
He's a lot better player now than he was then.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, what happened when he got to Vegas, his very first game, he took a really bad penalty. And I don't remember whether it was the next game or the game after that. He was in a shirt and tie. He sat in the press box. And the message was said. The message was sent. It's like, look, we want you to be physical, but you can't be dumb and you can't be reckless. And he got the message. And he's just a vastly better player now than he was when he first arrived in Las Vegas. And boy, he is an intimidating presence on the ice. Make no mistake about that. When Reeves is out there, somebody's getting hit, and nobody likes to get hit.
As they say, they call it playing along the line, just being along that line. Don't cross the line, but play along that line. They call it, speaking of lines, they call it the Lafreniere, Capo Caco, and I always struggle to pronounce his name. Philip Chittle, is that it? He's the center on that line. They're calling it the kid line. How great has that line been for them? That's the third line for the Rangers, and a point that Dave makes, which I love and I try and always bring up too. Just because you don't see guys' names on that score sheet when you check the box score does not mean they did not have a good performance and play well. Offensive zone time, yada, 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 all that stuff adds up, and you can really notice it if you're watching the game, not just someone that's a scoreboard watcher. And of scoreboard watching, the hits were even, 26-26, block shots relatively even, 0 for 3 on the power play for Tampa Bay, 1 for 2 for the Rangers, face-off percentage, 60% for the New York Rangers, and shots on goal, 39 shots for the Lightning, 34 for the Rangers. So guys, like I mentioned, with those goalie save props, I mean, hey, they're going to continuously give you Shesterkin at 31, 32. He's getting peppered.
I don't know if that's – I might mildly disagree with that. I think the shots on goal are going to be lower tonight because I think the style of play from Tampa Bay is going to be lower. They did a lousy job of clogging up the neutral zone in Game 1. The Rangers continuously got the puck in without any real pressure. That's not going to happen tonight. Tampa's going to be a lot more determined to make the Rangers dump and chase rather than being able to carry the puck in. So I don't know that we're going to get – I don't think we're getting 73 shots on goal combined tonight. I think it's going to be more in the 60 range. If one of the teams takes over, then you could get a 35-24 edge or something like that. But I have a feeling this is going to be – and it's in the total, obviously. At 5.5, it's tough. But I think it's reflected. The style of play that's expected is reflected in the line.
Andrew, you look at the total, just to add a couple more points, and I want to get back to Fox as well, too. For some reason, I looked up the odds, but, the total in Game 1 was, minus 140, minus 145. It's at minus 120 now, because you got a couple of talented teams, and maybe there's some overreaction to Game 1 with it as well, too, but they're still shading it to the under. I think they have to. There's no other thing you can do with regards to that. And then to the thing of Fox, I talked about Fox getting a point tonight. The prop, it's priced at minus 160. I don't know what it was priced at earlier during these playoffs, but he's played 15 games, and in 13 of those 15 games, he's registered a point. Obviously, there was a shutout, I think, to the Canes, 2-0 to the Canes, so obviously he didn't score in that one. But 13 of 15 games with a point as a defenseman is a pretty impressive stat thus far in the playoffs.
That is pretty impressive. And it goes to show, like you mentioned, Carm, how much of a factor defensemen are playing. Eric Johnson, slap shot from about a couple of feet inside the blue line yesterday for Colorado, goes low blocker, cashes in for them. Devon Toews, Cale Makar, these guys are making an impact for their team. Before we jump in to more promotional stuff and everything, I want to let you guys know about a great promo code we have set up from our great customer service team for Carmine, for Dave, and for myself. Promo code is PUCK49. That's PUCK 49. 3-day all-access pass for $49. That's for Dave, Carmine, and myself. All of us are found at WagerTalk.com. And, hey, Fridays are a great day for these all-access deals, for these 3-day deals. Great day to grab stuff for the weekend, whatever you might have going on, whether it's golf, whether it's UFC, whether it's MLB. Puck 3, 3-day pass for $49. 3-day pass, $49. Carm, before we jump into some power plays, I wanted to ask you some more about these updated series prices, because I agree with you on Tampa Bay, and we'll get Dave's thoughts if he has any on this. I think Tampa Bay is a great spot to stay patient. We saw what happened in Game 1. The number we're getting is strong. You already mentioned there about looking at them and the combo bet for them to win tonight and to win the series. Is there anything you want to give our viewers for this series or the Colorado series again before we wrap the show up?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't touch this series at all, not for clients, and I'm still not willing to take it now. But it's just because I can't get to the window on a certain team for tonight's game. But with the point of, if you like Tampa Bay, I mentioned it. If you like Tampa Bay to win this game tonight, instead of laying the minus, and you think they're going to win the series, of course, this is a two. It's essentially a parlay, because you're taking Tampa Bay to win tonight and win the series. That price is plus 170. Tampa Bay on the series price right now is minus 105. So if you were actually going to take Tampa Bay at minus 105, the better option is Tampa Bay to win tonight and win the series at plus 170, I believe, because obviously they split the two games on the road. They now have home ice, and we know what the narrative is of Vasilevsky at home during the playoffs, during this cup run. So it's something that you might want to look at. Again, I'm not going to get to the window on it just because I'm not entirely certain that Tampa Bay wins tonight's game. As far as the Colorado series, I have to believe that they're going to win one of the two games in Edmonton. And you can get Colorado to win in 5 games, to win the series 4-1. It's a correct series score 4-1 plus 200. That's not a bad bet. Because, you know, as everyone's saying, that it's Edmonton. Game 3 is where we need to see the Oilers come out and win. If they lose Game 3, the series is done and could very well end in Game 4. But I think these two teams split in Edmonton and the series ends in Colorado. So I am going to bet that Colorado 4-1 series exact score at plus 200.
Any thoughts there, Dave, or we'll leave it at Carm's expertise there?
No, I'll go with Carm on that. I'm going to give you Game 3 over between the Oilers and Avalanche. Edmonton knows what they got to do. They got to get it wide open. They're not getting shut out 2 games in a row. And I think you'll see a return to the wildness in this series. I would not be surprised if there's 8 or 9 goals scored in Game 3. So that's going to be a play for me. That's really the only thing I've got going in the NHL as far as an actual bet goes. Game 3 over between the Avalanche and Oilers.
I wanted to mention again about that 30-day for $210, paying only $7 a day using that promo code June30. You saw that in the advertisement prior to the show. Great deal there, 30-day, $210, paying only $7 a day, June 30. Great promo code, again, to mention here. Guys, John Ryan has once again sent us a great angle and trends image here. We'll bring that up, and then we'll put a bow on the show and wrap things up here. Great stuff from John. Look, talking about betting on favorites on the road, especially from minus 110 to minus 200. Losers of the previous matchup with current foe by 3 goals or more. Matches played after Game 41 of the regular season and playoffs. Looking at these numbers, road favorite has a win percentage of at least 60% on the season, 32-7 money line for 82% last 5 seasons. Also, I was shocked by this one. I had to double check and ask him like 3 or 4 more times to see if this was 100% true. Is there a first period goal? 11-3 to no, 79%. To this specific trend that he's talking about, I was completely shocked by this. But that really works for what, Dave mentioned the first period under. I've talked about some first period totals. I had a best bet on the first period over in Game 1. Will we see a more low scoring Game 2, especially out the gate? John Ryan's numbers back that up. Great stuff here from John Ryan. You can find them at sportsmemo.com. Carm, let's go to you. Let us know what you have going on this weekend. Of course, you have your 5% play going today in some soccer action. And I know you've got a prop bet for us again here for the show.
Yeah. So the soccer one goes this afternoon at 2:45. And if you use that puck 3, you can get 3 days of plays with hockey, obviously, on the weekends, soccer on the weekends, and some MLB as well, too, for $49 instead of one play for $35. So that's not a bad deal. Andrew, I'm going to go with the players prop, another scoring prop. We won the first 3 of the week. We didn't get there yesterday on JT Comfort, but we are going to come back with a Tampa Bay player. If you're subscribing to the theory that Tampa Bay comes out and wins tonight's game, and they've averaged 3.94 goals in those games following a loss in the last 3 years of the playoffs, Nikita Kucherov is a big part of that. He's plus 155 to score tonight. And that's what I'm going to take. So plus 155 on Nikita Kucherov to score. He has gotten points on the road during this year's playoffs. I think 3 of the 4 games in Toronto, I think he had points in. And in the 2 games in Florida, he points in those games. So we need to see some goals from him for this team to succeed. So Nikita Kucherov plus 155. And best of luck to all you guys out there this weekend.
Awesome. Plus 155, Kucherov to score a goal. Guys, grab Carmine's soccer play, WagerTalk.com. Dave, what's going on for you this entire weekend? Anything up as far as golf or more baseball action? I know you just gave us the over in Game 3, Colorado and Edmonton.
3 games of baseball tonight. No idea on what will happen Saturday or Sunday because it's one day at a time for me. And the golf, well, that's we have to wait and see what happens because those outrights are set before the tournament starts. Davis Riley's off to a good start. 5 under in the opening round. Only 1 under today, but he'll still be in the top 10 when the day's over. So we'll see how it goes over the weekend.
Well, I know you've done very well with the golf. And again, that puck 3 is applicable for all 3 of us, Dave. So puck 3, a great promo code to use for both Dave, Carmine, and myself at WagerTalk.com. I also have a promo code for my UFC play, a 5% play going tomorrow. That's UFC 20. Get my UFC play for $20. I'm on a 10-3 run with 5% UFC plays. And guys, this is over like a 6 or 7 month span. I don't release a lot of these. And I actually have my eyes on one for next weekend as well already. That's been in the planning book for a long time. So looking forward to hopefully an exciting next couple weeks of UFC. We'll start it off tomorrow night, UFC 20. Get my 5% play for $20. And my prop bet power play here for today is going to be one of those save props I discussed. It kind of goes with the trends. It goes with the angles we talked about. You're hearing from everybody all over Twitter. Vasilevsky over 27.5 saves, minus 115. Going for 18 straight wins off a loss. That is Vasilevsky. And we're also talking about a Tampa Bay Lightning team that is just so successful off a loss in general. And, you know, Dave and I, we talked about it, and he mentioned, well, I don't think we're going to see as many shots in Game 1. And I agree with him, but this is only 27.5. Hopefully we see New York get to 30 or something like that, and I can still cash my ticket. Dave Cokin, he's looking at Colorado, Edmonton over 7, Game 3 in the Western Conference Finals. Carmine, Bianco, Nikita Kucherov to score a goal at plus 155. And I have Vasilevsky over 27.5 saves at minus 115. On behalf of both these guys, Dave Cokin, Carmine Bianco, our producer, Dan, I want to wish you guys a great weekend. Best of luck with your wagers, and I'll see you on Monday.
WagerTalk and Sports Memo customers love $9 Mondays, where each package is just $9. For a limited time from June 1st until June 7th, we're offering a 30-day all-access pass from your favorite handicapper for $210. That's only $7 per day. This special includes all daily plays from your favorite handicapper every day for 30 days, including 5% plays normally priced at $39 alone. Use coupon code June30, good for multiple uses at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Once you sign up, you'll get every play sent to you as soon as they post it.